been given tank reinforcements, and these are tanks. This is technology going back to the 1950s. So I don't know. I can't tell you whether the Ukrainian generals are right to hold on to a salient and be virtually surrounded. Maybe they're right. Maybe the Russians are on the point of collapse. I just don't know. All I can say is it seems to me from history, holding on to a salient because of symbolism can be a very, very costly thing to do. Well, joining me is the Member of Parliament for Gravesham. He's a former army officer, and we never know with Adam Holloway, and indeed the Conservative Party whips, I don't think ever know quite where Adam is. But he joins me right now, live from Kyiv. Adam, good evening. It's wonderful to get these reports from you as you're out on the road. I mean, what do you think, as a former army man, this idea that the generals, the Ukrainian generals, don't want to cede a single inch of ground? Is that a wise thing when it comes to Bakhmut, in your view?
My view is not very important. The view of people like the Ukrainian general, who I've just been with literally 200 meters ago before I came into this back street, it's a view of people like this man that counts. And they say that what's happening is many of their best soldiers are dying tonight in order to defend and hold destroyed territory and destroyed buildings. He put it like this: there are 148 million Russians and there are 30 million Ukrainians. And a theme that recurs time and time again here is that Putin, with no care for the people he's throwing forward, is throwing forward convicts. He's throwing forward people way beyond the bubble of St. Petersburg and Moscow into what's being described as the meat grinder. And as the general and many others have put it, what's happening is they're destroying this night the flower of Ukrainian youth as well. So this thing is, really quite out of hand in that respect. And I think that within the lower ranks of the Ukrainian army, what's happening at Bakhmut, which is in no way sort of key ground, strategic territory, is probably going to turn out to have been a big mistake, actually.
Yeah, I have to say, Adam, I'm very interested to hear you say that, because it seems to me that almost holding on to Bakhmut, which effectively there isn't much of it left because it's been shelled flat, it seems to me that it is very much a sort of show of pride, and perhaps false pride, and maybe straightening the line might be and getting behind a defensive position might be a better thing to do. You've been to Ukraine repeatedly.
One of the principles that one would observe in war is, sometimes you have to bypass things. We probably should have done that at Monte Cassino. It's not for me to second guess the Ukrainians. They're the people fighting this war. But certainly to the general I was with this evening, this is a mistake.
Yeah, Adam, final thought from you. I've just come back from the big conservative CPAC conference in America. And American conservatives are really moving very rapidly to the view that they can't just go on endlessly giving money and munitions to Ukraine. We ourselves are down to just a stockpile now of 6,000 artillery shells in the whole of the United Kingdom. Do you sense a little bit of war weariness in terms of supporting Zelensky creeping into the West?
I'll come to that in a minute. That would be completely crazy. Look, Ben Wallace is absolutely right. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it, that we'd be giving ammunition and so on here, but not replacing it into our own stocks. I mean, that's completely crazy, and we've all got to get behind Ben Wallace in this respect. But in terms of waning support for this war, look, this is not the crazy invasion of Iraq or the monstrous war in Afghanistan where we lost lots of lives and spent so much money. This is really different. This is a war in Europe with a guy who does not respect the international rule-based system. And we have got to, whilst confining it to the borders of Ukraine, we've got to give these people all the support we can. And you know what? It's actually much easier because the Americans do not have troops deployed within the borders here. We don't have troops deployed here. So it's much easier to stay for a long time because we're not losing people. We won't have a problem with public opinion. What we're doing, as I said to you over a year ago, if you remember, when I was in the days immediately after the invasion when we spoke, what we're doing is we're giving these people the ability to do the fight themselves. In a sense, they are fighting for us. And I think for us to diminish our support for them would be crazy because it wouldn't help us. And frankly, you know, we owe these people something because they're doing it for us.
Adam, I think given your words, let's hope Chancellor Jeremy Hunt is listening. We're going to have to up our industrial production. As ever, Adam, very grateful to you for reporting to us live from Ukraine. Really interesting.